Greetings, fellow travelers. Welcome on in. This is the 188th level of the RPG Cave. I am one of your hosts, the level 199 Human Dark Lord, Ryan Turford, and I am joined for the first time on the show, at least as far as y'all know anyways, because there's a super secret episode Sean was on once. But the level 199, I'm going to say Red Mage. Sean is here. Hello, Sean.
Hello, Ryan. How are you? Do I do the ASMR?
The ASMR, Sean. ASMR,
is that
Sean is
how
here.
I'm supposed to do this? I'll do my best, Garrett, for the episode.
I can tell you've listened to the show before. You're doing the Garrett perfectly.
I'm a
I
big
think you're doing
fan.
a good job.
I have things.
Yeah. Oh,
Not
you
a
do
doctor.
have things. Because
Not a
Garrett
doctor.
asked in the Discord, will Sean have things today?
I'll stop that. That's look, I'm a big fan of what you guys got going on here. It's my number one goal not to screw it all up. I hope people will continue to listen next week. I have zero to contribute in the world of Magic the Gathering, Ryan. I can't even comment on literally anything you've been talking about.
That's
for the
why
last
I
month.
crossed off the Magic the Gathering thing today. To be fair, we talked about it last week, and you probably don't want to talk about Magic the Gathering Sonic cards for the second week in a row, Sean.
Somehow that is just bonkers enough to capture my attention. Maybe I could be intrigued. Look, I'm excited, maybe as excited, maybe even more excited than people want this, Ryan. People want us podcasting together. It's been a long time. It's going back to our old Xbox Drive days here, so it's very nice.
I mean, to be fair, all people have to do is hop on Patreon and listen to the movie podcast, because you and I have done every single one of them.
That's true.
So, I mean, we do podcasts together all the time, but it's never like this, where it's like, we usually don't do them one-on-one. I can't remember the last time you and I did a one-on-one podcast.
That's what I'm saying, man. People want this. This is special. This is nice. So I hope I don't screw it up. I'm a little nervous. I haven't been nervous to be on a podcast in a while.
Don't be nervous. This is gonna be fun. Again, I love the fact too that I can tell that you listen to the show every week, because one, you're always in the chat every week, Sean, but also you just know exactly how the flow of the show goes. So where we get all the fluff out of the way at the beginning, and then we get more serious.
Hey, get that fluff out of here.
A little bit later.
Hate that fluff.
Although, again, we get comments all the time, Sean, where it's like, the show moves too slowly. Please, for the love of God, make it go faster.
Oh, man. They obviously don't listen to everything else we do at Carpool Gaming.
I was gonna
This
say,
is the most, I don't know what they're talking about.
this is the one that actually moves the fastest, probably.
I was just saying to Chelsea, I was saying to my wife, I'm jumping on a show, but Ryan's in charge. We'll be over on time. We're fine.
Yeah, I was going to say, we usually try to be out of here by 12:30 at the latest. So.
Yeah, we're good.
Anyways, Sean, we should probably clear the dungeon before we can get to the raid boss as
Yes.
quickly as possible. That's what we call the housekeeping segment on the show, by the way, folks.
I got it. Yeah, you're cleaning it up. Yep.
Absolutely. So, of course, we got a new patron over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Nuke the Bridge has upgraded to the exclusive tier over on the old Patreon. Checking out all those exclusives, like we're going to talk about, including the Pants Patreon podcast for Patrons podcast. Of course, Lockleth Pants episode was out this week. Seth's episode will be out tomorrow. So you can check that out on the Patreon feed tomorrow. Or, again, if you're listening on free feeds, it's been out for a couple days now. You should go back on Patreon and go check it out. And Sean, we usually like to tease who's going to be on the Pants podcast next week on this show. Since, again, by the time it hits free feeds, this has already been a question post for a bit. And I see on the schedule a certain person who's next to me, but I don't know if it's that's confirmed or not. So.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah, I'm talking about you.
I can't wait.
Are you doing
let's do
Pants next
this.
week?
It's
Okay.
it's so funny you should say that, because I was talking about it on the Xbox Drive last night, and I'm like, I don't know when my turn is, so I guess it's coming up. It's been a while.
I guess it's this week. So
There
if
you
you have
go.
questions for Sean, make sure to put them on the post on Monday. And Sean will answer your questions on the old Paints Patreon podcast for Patrons podcast. Or again, if you're listening on free feeds, this happened a couple days ago. Go to Patreon. The questions post will be there. Also, Fuya made a cool video over on the YouTube channel all about our favorite indie games from Summer Game Fest. So make sure to go and check that out. Show that video some love. Maybe, put some stuff in the comment about some of your favorite indie games as well. Just let us know if you like this type of thing. It's because we would love to try more stuff like this. So if people like it, let us know, please. We would love to hear from you. Also, of course, Nintendo Drive post show and a whole lot more over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Of course, you can sign up for a 7-day free trial if you haven't actually tried out the Patreon before for the exclusive tier, our most popular tier, where you get all of this content that I just talked about. And I mean, you can't listen to it all in the week, but you can at least try it out. And if you like it, maybe you'll stick around and check things out. Of course, last but not least, Sean, we have Summer Game Fest merch still live over at carpoolgaming.com if you're interested in picking up some Summer Game Fest swag before it goes into the old Disney vault for the summer. Everything, I think that's it. I think that's all the things, Sean. I think we covered it off. But speaking of things, Sean, do you have things for me?
I have things. I wrote them down.
Oh my God, you wrote them down.
I wrote them down. Does Garrett not write them down? Did they
He
all
puts
come
them
from
on
memory?
the doc. But
Oh, he puts them on the doc. Oh, so you actually know. You actually know what the things are. Oh, okay. Oh, now we're seeing how the sausage is made.
yeah, now you see behind the curtain, Sean. How
I don't like that. I want him to just tell you. Stop doing that, Garrett.
I mean, sometimes he does. Sometimes he'll surprise me and not actually put anything on the docket, or like he'll have things that he'll have a couple things written there, but then he'll have additional things on top of those things.
I've already screwed it up. I've already messed up. Damn it.
It's fine. We got this. We're only 7 minutes in, Sean. We got good pace going.
So, well, speaking of 7, Ryan.
Segue.
I have 7 things.
Oh, 7 things.
I have 7 things. Do I just run through them? Do I just tell you?
Why not?
Okay. My first thing is a very simple thing. Very simply, I just want to say I love Garrett's things. This is one of my favorite things on any of the shows that we do. Everybody might have like their own, like they go to a podcast for like that moment, that thing that people do.
Yep.
Garrett's things, man. I live for it, dude. I just love it. Love that guy. Love that little guy. That little doctor of ours. You know?
Yeah. I mean, people love the things. Like you're not the only one who comes in chat and who's like, Garrett's. We're here for the things.
Yeah,
things.
it'll end up with its own like spin-off podcast, the Garrett's Things podcast.
Yeah. Although as Seth kind of alluded to last week, a lot of it will probably be about like random coffee facts, because Garrett is very particular about his
bonus thing. I also just brewed a very hot coffee, and I've got to let it just kind of like cool off here before I have my first sip. But
very nice.
I'm very much playing the Garrett role.
Of course.
I had a pour over, Ryan.
Of course.
Not like a Keurig situation over here. You dump the beans, the grounds into a little coffee filter thing, and then you pour the boiling water over top of it. And it's just, even if you don't have good coffee, it makes it good coffee. It's just delicious. Okay, so that was a bonus thing. Second thing. Ryan, I am back to 2 monitor situation over here. For the longest time, I had one giant 49-inch monitor, ultra super duper wide screen, 32:9 aspect ratio. I sold it.
Oh, jeez. The end of an era.
And that's what Rybo said. That's exactly what Rybo said. End of an era. Yes. It made streaming and a lot of things look, the monitor was gorgeous. It was like almost like it has such a wow factor. You're just sitting down and it's just like this huge thing. It's curved and it's beautiful. But like anytime I work from home a lot, you got to share your screen. Sharing your screen's a pain in the butt with an ultra wide screen. Streaming with one screen, not great. So I just had it, and I just needed to. We're moving, which is actually one of my other things that I'll get to. So I'm just like getting rid of stuff. I had these other 2 monitors still here from before I upgraded to that, so I'm back to a 2 monitor setup, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, but at the same time, it's totally understandable because I remember like you trying to do a bunch of things either in Discord or on live stream, and it just not working correctly because you had like the ultra wide monitor. So I think you made the right call there, Sean. Even though it was motivated by moving, I still think you made the right call there.
Well, and ultimately, it's a better monitor. Like, there's no doubt of it. It's a 240 hertz. Like, it's just this gorgeous thing. So, anyways, back to 2 monitors. When I move, wait a minute. This is my third thing. Number 3. We're selling our home. So we've actually selected. We're in this weird limbo time, Ryan. We have made an offer. It's been accepted on the new home, which is actually a very old home. It's like 50 years old, for God's sake.
Jeez.
But we haven't sold our home yet. And yesterday we had, I think, 5 people, like 5 different showings. People just wandering through my house, seeing if they like it.
Yep.
And that's weird.
Yep.
Because it's a weird house. Like, look what I have behind me.
It's fine. It won't be as weird as when people come and look at my apartments whenever I move, Sean. Because I usually have to move almost every single year. So people come in here and they're just like, what the heck is this person got going on in here?
Do they, but like, do you own your apartment? Like, or do you lease your apartment?
No,
like,
it's just a lot of times they'll since I usually move out a couple days before the lease is up, they'll have people coming in to view the apartment because it essentially goes up like the day after I move.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
But like, you don't like for, I don't know if it's different because do you have some sort of obligation to have like a show home ready kind of apartment? Like, do you have to, like, we want people to buy it. So we want our home to be like spick and span. Everything is tidy. Like for you, you don't own the apartment. So it's kind of like, whatever. Like, I don't care if anybody moves in after me or not.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I've been to apartment showings before, Sean, where the person clearly didn't care and like shit was everywhere. But in my place, I'm like, well,
you want to take pride in it.
Well, I don't want people to think I'm a complete slob. So I'll at least clean up at least a little bit, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I keep my place, fairly clean anyways. So it's not, I don't have to go out of my way of it. But you're right. Like that motivation isn't there because you're right. Like why would I be motivated for the property to sell when I'm renting it?
Yeah, other than your own sort of like stranger pride, for people who will never meet you or know you, they just want to, unless they recognize all your stuff, they're like, oh, it's that RPG cave guy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've had that happen before, Sean.
There you go. Yeah, see?
That happened again. My favorite, I was talking about this with a coworker the other day, but I like the time a month and a half ago when I got recognized at my local Shoppers Drug Mart, Sean. They were like, "You're Ryan Turfer from Carpool Gaming."
That's
like,
crazy.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
That's me. Yeah, it was so weird.
I could just see you like, hello, and then turn around and run away.
Yeah, because my friend is like, she does like our weekend newscasts on CBC, so she started to get recognized too. So I was like, this is my one story about being recognized outside of a convention.
I love that.
So I had to share that.
Very cool. Yeah, also surreal.
I'm going to add one of my things to your thing, Sean.
Oh, yeah.
In the sense that I will also be moving in February. So I've made a decision this week, Sean. I wish.
Move into our house. Move into the garage.
Again, I wish. It's a long commute from your place to them to work. No, so I've decided I'm selling almost all my stuff. All my retro gaming stuff is going.
Are you really?
Pretty much, because I'm going to be downsizing into a smaller apartment. And a much smaller apartment probably when I move because that's
which
really
you already did.
Afford.
You already downsized.
Well, I have to go even smaller, Sean.
Yeah,
because that's really all I can afford. So I'm going to be getting rid of almost everything that is physical, and I'm pretty much just going digital only.
How do you feel about that?
Forward.
You good?
I actually feel okay. Like I don't feel like I'll miss the stuff, and I'll keep some of the physical stuff that like is sentimental that I still use.
Yep.
But like I have to basically get down to like this shelf only.
Yeah.
So I need to, whatever doesn't fit on that shelf has to go. So I'm going to be selling a ton of stuff over the summer, including all of my old game consoles and old games. And I'm just
all the consoles. Wow.
Yep. Except the only console that's staying is my analog micro SG, which is the Sega Genesis console.
Sure.
Because it's so tiny. Like I might as well keep it. And the analog pocket, I'll keep it as well. Because it's the size of a Game Boy. But everything else is going.
Wow.
Just because again, I can't really suffer the space, unfortunately.
Well, I hope you get top dollar for it. You know.
Oh, I will.
Nice.
Again, I will have lots of money left over between.
Good for you.
Yeah, it'll cover all my movie expenses and potential trip to Japan next year. So.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
Holy
so
crap!
I think we'll be in good shape.
Yeah, that takes the sting out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't have these things I never use, but at least I got to fly halfway across the world. That's pretty great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But anyways, you had more things, Sean.
Wait, when you go to Japan, what direction do you take? I'm a dum-dum when it comes to this. Do you go to like Vancouver and then across the Pacific? Is that how that works?
Yeah. Although the last time I went there, I had to fly to LA.
LA? Yeah.
And then fly from there. And that was even longer than flying to Vancouver. So, yeah. But yeah, going west.
That's neat. You can just do that. You just hop on this Airbus thing and it just flies through the sky and then you end up in Japan. That's awesome.
Well,
world.
I had to hop on like 7 of them because I had
even more incredible
6 connecting flights to get to LA and then a flight from LA to Japan. So,
hopefully it's more simple next time. Ryan.
We'll find out. Yeah, we'll see.
But we will find out.
Yes.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, next time on Dragon Ball Z. So we're selling our house. We haven't sold our house. We're financially committed to the next place, Ryan.
Of course.
And I need the money out of this house to buy that next one. So I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Yep.
It's not. How do
one of these people
this?
that's going to come in is going to be like, this house is really cool. I'm going to want this.
I hope so, man. Holy cow. All right. That was thing number 3. Number 4, really quickly, I was on the Xbox Drive last night in probably one of the worst weeks of Xbox in history of Xbox. It's been pretty brutal with all the layoffs and the cancellations. And so Donnie was on the show with me to break everything down. So that was pretty nice. That was thing number 4. Thing number 5, Ryan, this is going to excite you quite a lot.
Oh,
because we're going to take a turn to the weather drive.
Interesting.
Very nearby, Ryan, in a little town, maybe a small city even, called Drayton Valley, a tornado touchdown. A funnel cloud formed and a tornado touchdown. And it just lit up your local social media around here, Ryan. Was it a vicious tornado? I don't think so. It looked like one of those cute little tiny skinny ones. But it touched the ground and wind was flying around and dust and small chickens, not cows. We didn't have cows, but probably chickens and small birds and other rodents just flung about by this natural disaster, Ryan.
But out where you live, you guys don't get tornadoes.
We don't get these.
That's why it's so weird.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's a thing.
Because the same thing would happen here in Toronto if in Toronto we got a tornado. Because we don't really get tornadoes here.
Yeah.
We've been close a couple times this year, but I don't think in the time I've lived here, I don't think we've ever had a tornado.
Well, I thought you'd be excited to hear about the Drayton Valley tornado.
Yes. I actually know where Drayton Valley is too, if it makes you feel better, Sean.
Yeah, it's nice. Nice little town. Yeah. Not anymore.
It was.
It's destroyed.
It wasn't. It's not
Just
destroyed.
kidding. I'm sure everybody's fine.
The chickens, they're not living their best life, but the town.
Yeah.
Town's okay.
All right, Ryan. Thing number 6. This is just one to cook your noodle a little bit. Did you know now that we are beyond July 2nd, 2025, we are now officially closer and only getting acceleratingly faster, closer to the year 2050 than we are to the year 2020. How do you feel about that, Ryan? How does that do for you?
Way to make me feel old, Sean. Way to make me feel so old.
We're closer to 2050 than 2020.
Yeah.
Neat.
That's true. I mean, it's similar, Sean, when you think about it now, where it's like we're close enough now where if we were to listen to music from the 2000s, Sean, it would be like when I would listen to music from the 1960s when I was
100%,
and be like, man, that music's old. I can't believe old people listen to that music, and it's just like, but music from the 2000s is fine.
Yeah, Linkin Park, Hybrid Theory. It's like listen to CCR up in here, It's like listen to The Doors.
Exactly. Or even like thinking about like listening to music even from like the 80s. That's like listening to music for us listening to music from the 40s when we were kids.
Okay. No, I don't like that.
Yeah. That's what it's like though.
Okay. I regret bringing this up.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate
that.
I mean,
I can't wait, Sean, because I'm a huge fan of the movie Alien. And in 4 years, Sean, it will be the 50th anniversary of Alien.
Oh, nope.
Yep. I can't believe that movie's going to be 50 years old in 4 years.
I was going to say, future generations will talk about us living through this time, about like us living through the 20s.
Yep. Exactly.
With the pandemic and, all the rest. All these terrible things. Anyway, we're going to be in textbooks and we'll be referred to as the 20s, Ryan.
Of course. Will we be the roaring 20s? Will be the soaring 20s? Will be the sad 20s?
The crumbling.
Who knows?
Yep.
Let's see what label they give us.
Okay, well, on that super positive note, Ryan, I got to bring some space. This is my final thing, thing number 7. The James Webb Space Telescope. Do you know about the James Webb Space Telescope, Ryan? Do you know about this
please
thing?
Tell me more, Sean.
Do you really not know about the James Webb Space Telescope?
No.
Do you know about Hubble? Do you know the Hubble Space Telescope? Mm-hmm. So obviously, you can have a telescope on the ground, but you got that whole like atmosphere in the way. You can't see clearly. You got to get the telescope up into space, into orbit, so you can see clearly up there, man. So the Hubble telescope is kind of hovering around, kind of like where the International Space Station is, like just a couple hundred kilometers above the surface.
Of course.
They launched this other thing, this James Webb Space Telescope. It's sitting like 4 times further away from Earth than the moon, Ryan. It's like 1,000,000 miles away from the moon. It's just floating out there in this magical space between the Earth and the sun that keeps it like there in this gentle balance. It's not falling towards the sun, not falling back towards the Earth. Fascinating. It's this infrared camera. It's got all these different like gold-plated panels on it that they had to ship out there, with a rocket 1,000,000 miles away. Then it slams on the brakes and it has to unfurl all these like solar panels and this protection foil, and then the mirrors, Ryan. Because they needed this giant mirror for the telescope. This is how telescope and optics work, Ryan. With this giant mirror setup, but it had to unfold because it had to fit inside the rocket to get it there. You know what I'm saying? So it's got these huge hexagonal gold-plated mirrors, and it just sits there, taking pictures billions of light years into the past, Ryan. And so it's been doing this for a little while. This is just like human ingenuity and engineering, just like maxed out. I actually can't believe Dr. Bland has not talked to you about this because it's pretty remarkable. Once. Anyways, the reason I bring this up is the James Webb Space Telescope has made a discovery that it is entirely possible, Ryan, that our universe, our entire universe, exists within another universe's black hole.
Yeah. I remember seeing titles about that, but I didn't actually read the stories about that. But that's interesting.
I think it makes sense. I buy it.
Yeah,
I think we are in a black hole.
Which then, that makes you wonder. Then, is that other universe inside another universe
100%
black hole on top of it? It
all
all just layers on top of each other. Yeah.
Yep. So there, just a nice little, let's just cook your brain completely before we start the show. That was my 7th thing, James Webb Space Telescope. Breaking space news, Ryan.
Bracking space news.
We got
as you would.
Yes, of course.
Of course, brought to you by The Brack Show over on Cartoon Network. The Bracking News.
I don't remember that.
Oh, you don't remember The Brack Show? Oh,
I barely had cable, man.
Same, but I still know what the Brack Show is. Wow. In fact, anytime I bring up bracking news, people in the Discord fill the Discord with Brack Show things gifts from the Brack Show.
Oh, that's bad. I think of fracking, which is sort of like digging oil sands out of the ground. And that's not good. It's very bad for the environment.
100% it is.
But yeah, fracking's terrible. But that's what I think of when you guys are saying bracking. I think of fracking. But that's just what happens when you live in Alberta.
I was just about to say, that's what happens when you live in Alberta. But anyways, Sean.
How's that?
I think we should move on. You know what? You did a pretty good job. And honestly, I'm looking at the time. It's like, we didn't really go any slower than we normally do. So this worked out perfectly.
I listen to the show. I know the beat. I know the rhythm. Yeah. I'm here.
Well, speaking of that, Sean, you know what comes next, because now it is time for us to read from the sacred texts. Because
I like that you look side to side across the
I'm
scroll.
looking at the sacred text. It's a long set of texts, Sean. Okay? Especially 188 episodes in, there's a lot written on those sacred texts. God. Okay?
People need to watch the video. The whole action, the whole animation that you just break into is beautiful. I love it.
Garrett does it too. Garrett does the motion too. He looks. Also, I can't see. I love how you also recognize all the other Space Ghost shows. Because yes, the Brack Show was a spin-off of Space Ghost Coast to Coast on Cartoon Network. But
nice.
Sean, since you're here, we are going to, of course, teach you about role-playing games. And we're going to kind of come up with kind of like the bucket list of role-playing games for you to play. Now, here's the thing. You would pitch this topic to me as if you were someone who is kind of newer to role-playing games, but I will actually, tell the audience that Sean isn't necessarily new to role-playing games. You played a lot of role-playing games over the year, and in fact, I've devised a system here, a foolproof system to prove to the audience that, and to yourself, Sean, that you actually probably have played more role-playing games, or at least quintessential role-playing games, than you think you have. So what I've done, Sean, is I've come up with a checklist of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games, Sean.
Okay.
12 of what I would consider the quintessential role-playing games. The games that, if you were to Google quintessential role-playing games, these are the games that would come up. And to be fair, I even left some off the list that I know for sure that you've played, but I also kept some on the list that I know for sure that you've played. So
just so that we can speak about them, just because they're important games. Got it.
Not only that, but also to give the audience an idea as to where you're coming into this from the role-playing game. So likewise, this is also to steer clear of angry comments being like, why didn't you tell Sean to play Final Fantasy VII? Clearly he has, and that's one of the games on the checklist as an example. So
got it.
Yep. To kind of set that a little bit. Set expectations.
Sounds good. Well, that's just it. I'm playing the part of the audience, and I don't mind doing that, Ryan. But fans and listeners of the show, they are role-playing game players. So surely
Yeah.
they would stack up very well. I would actually love to see how people stack up on this list, Ryan.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
here and again, I left a couple off on purpose as an just in case. For example, I took Fallout 3 off the list. It's because you and I have talked a million times about Fallout 3, but Fallout 3 is a game I would have put on this list. As an
Yep.
example.
Okay.
Or even Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Sean,
Yep.
you streamed that
KOTOR.
game,
Yep.
the entire game. We know you've played it.
Yep.
Duh. So we're going to start,
Say duh.
obviously, with Final Fantasy VII, OG or remake version. And the goal of this list, Sean, is I don't need you to tell me, you don't have to say if you've beaten it or not. You just have to say if you've at least tried these games. Okay?
Yeah, so I've played like the first 5 minutes of Remake, which
Okay.
is beautiful. I kind of got confused by the combat system, and then I dropped it. And I have played the original game up until the dress, like where you kind of get dressed up like a girl.
Okay. So you've
And
only
that-
played a couple hours of the OG and you've barely touched the remake.
Barely touched it.
Okay.
Yeah, barely
But
touched
I can
the
check
other
it
one.
off the list because you've at least tried it. That's what we're going for.
Okay, well, I'm gonna keep. I'm keeping all. I've got a list going off to the side here on my second monitor that I previously spoke about.
I mean, this might also come around again because I know you've barely played this game and it's coming to Xbox and Switch soon. And I'm like, I think you probably should give it another try at some point.
I
We'll
do.
get into
I
that
do need
later.
to give it another try. I also got. I don't know if this breaks your list. I'm just gonna kind of like break this back and forth a little bit
course.
here, Ryan, if that's okay. For Christmas, I got the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster collection thing on Switch. So I have Final Fantasy 1 through 6 as
Mm-hmm.
well. So I don't know if that's quintessential, but I got it.
I would say the only one that usually makes the quintessential list is Final Fantasy VI, but specifically chose not to include it here.
Okay. So I'm aware, audience.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. Next one on the list, Chrono Trigger.
Ooh. Yeah, I've not beaten this one, but I've played quite a lot. Well, I shouldn't say quite a lot of it. I've watched quite a lot of it. Neighbor Matt. This could be my answer for a lot of these, especially like Super Nintendo, maybe 64 era kind of games, maybe PS1 kind of stuff. Basically, just watched Neighbor Matt, and it's funny. I should have mentioned this when you mentioned Fallout 3. Fallout 3 was a very important role playing game for me because prior to that, all the way up to that point in my life, I thought RPGs were like for the smart kids. Like, I just thought, like, I couldn't they weren't for me. They were always for neighbor Matt, who ended up being an electrical engineer. Like, he's a very smart guy. He always was. And so Fallout 3 kind of, like, broke the door open for me. So anything prior to that, I probably was just watching somebody else play it. Chrono Trigger, and also my younger brother, who's an accountant. So also... very smart guy.
Jeez. I might be like the only big dum-dum that you know who's like super into role playing.
You are far from that, man. No. So Chrono Trigger, I've played the fair, and I've played maybe a couple moments and hours beyond just kind of like actually starting to time travel a little bit. But I agree with you. Like, how can I not, man? How can I not be?
Yeah.
This should launch to the top of like the old bucket list. Because we're close to the year 2050. I could be blipped off this planet just at any moment, man. I gotta sneak in Chrono Trigger here.
At some point you do. We'll talk about that later when we actually talk about the bucket list. But yes, because I've also compiled a list on top of this checklist as well.
Okay.
An actual bucket list. So, but yes, these items from the checklist that you haven't played are getting added to that list.
All right.
Next up, Elden Ring.
Oh yeah, I think I've streamed. I think you've probably seen as much of Elden Ring as I've played.
Yeah.
And I think I was just like farming one area. I didn't progress really at all. I love this game though.
Yeah.
Like, this is just a matter of time. Like, this is not, if people can't tell already, me not playing some of these games is not reflective of really much of anything other than I either get distracted or I got like other things to do. But like, there's so much that I want to get to. Elden Ring, man, it's on another list that I've got on the go here. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, that's the type of game, like, people like, I wanted to make sure there was at least one Souls-like game on here. And I think that's the quintessential Souls-like game.
Yeah. I'm currently playing Lies of P, actually.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
review, thanks to my Edmonton Oilers losing in the NHL playoffs and Rybo's Florida Panthers won. So he selected that. And that game's kicking my butt. I might have to flip that to, maybe, can I flip it to easy mode just for boss?
I've never played Lies of P. I don't even know if there's
I might have
difficulty
to
options.
check that out.
in
It's
game.
beautiful. I can't wait. My goal is I'm not racing through it. I hope to have that review by the end of the month. I'm selling a house and I got a baby.
You got
so-
other things going on, Sean.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Next one on the list, Final Fantasy IX.
Oh, yeah. This is probably one that I've played more than any other Final Fantasy, but that's
Yeah, I
not
think
saying
so.
a whole lot based on what we've talked about. I have it on Switch. I actually have Final Fantasy, let me see, 1 through 9 on Switch at this point, including Final Fantasy 8, Ryan.
Of course. But
I've noticed
I
that
know
you
you
skipped
played
Final
that one.
Fantasy 8.
There's a reason for that.
That actually makes all of this so much worse. I haven't played Chrono Trigger. I haven't played all these games, and it's like, I mean, I put a not insignificant amount of time into Final Fantasy VIII, so
Okay.
that was a
okay.
mistake.
Let me check
Maybe.
that off.
I
Next
mean,
up,
it was good intro.
of course. Next
course.
up on the list, Fire Emblem Awakening.
Missed it. What was the one on Birthright or Fates? Was my first Fire Emblem game on 3DS.
Interesting.
So I would have to go back. How does it compare to that? Like what are we talking? Like talk to me about the waifus, of course. You guys always skip the waifus on this show.
There's so many. There's
Oh,
so many
really?
waifus
In
that
Awakening?
game. Yeah. That game is like all about waifus, but it's also very good. It's probably one of the best Fire Emblem games. So I'm actually very surprised that you told me that, Sean, because I'm like, that's one of those games that I always recommend to people who are like newer to role playing games or just really want to get into strategy role playing games. Cause like, I think that's like the perfect like gateway game to those types of games. So
Interesting. I've been looking for. I love that you included a 3DS game because I've actually been looking for a reason or two to fire up my old 3DS.
yeah,
Very nice.
I mean, Garrett plays 3DS all the time, so I'm always
know he
reminded
does.
about it on the show. He's playing Bravely Default right now on 3DS, Sean. Not the
I
Switch
love
version.
that, man. I mean, I think you guys, everybody's gonna tell me I'm wrong about this. I just can't. I can't play these dang handhelds in handheld mode. Switch 2, the ROG Allies, these Steam Decks, like they're just. It's not it. But the 3DS, man, the 3DS is the last bastion of hand-holdable handhelds.
Yeah. Are you getting rid of all your 3DSs? I know you were getting rid of some, but
I have gotten rid of quite a few, but no, there are a number that are non-negotiable. This one that you can see up here is a Yoshi edition. It looks pretty plain, very rare actually, as it turns out. So and also maybe more important than that, this was my wedding present to my wife. So
amazing.
probably shouldn't even think about. I shouldn't think about that one, but Google that. Everybody, like that one is actually worth a little something. I also have my Hyrule, the Link Between Worlds one.
Yep.
Non-negotiable. I think this is one of the. This is where I just grab shit off my desk. This is one of my. I actually protect it with one of these like clear plastic shells over top
it's
of it. I don't know if you can tell. I just love it. I don't even know if this is worth much. I think because it was pretty common, but I adore this one. And the last game I played in it, Ryan, you can see right here, Mario Kart 7.
Oh,
Right there. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that I only said it. I think it's expensive because I remember because I was helping my ex-girlfriend sell some of her 3DSs and like she had the Majora's Mask one and it was like 700 Canadian.
That one I
dollars.
sold. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That one was worth something.
But the one she actually sold that was most expensive was the Fire Emblem Fates one. Because there was
Oh,
a Fire
there we
Emblem
are.
Fates 3DS and that was like $1,000.
Yes.
So, which is just
Man, they
crazy.
do collector's editions so well with basically anything Fire Emblem.
Yeah. I can't see actually asked an interesting question. What's the point of a handheld if you only play it docked? I mean, for me,
I didn't invent it. I can't see.
Yeah.
I just
Same. Here's the thing. The Switch 2, like, I basically only played in docked mode because I just like playing games on my TV.
Yeah.
However, it is nice every once in a while that when I'm on the train for 2 hours
For
to go
sure.
visit my mom, it's good. It's fine to have it on the train with me, but that's like just not my most optimal way of playing it. So that's just a me thing, though.
I'm with one. It's an us thing, as it turns out. It's more of like it's not a 100% 0% kind of thing. It's not only ever always docked mode. But like there's the 5-10% of the time that like I'm commuting, I'm going on a trip, or I'm doing something like it's very nice to be able to bring it from room to room. Mm-hmm. That's been, especially like with a streaming setup here as well. Like I don't always play games here, but to bring it from place to place is very nice. But yeah, I haven't. I might need some sort of like special pillow or something to play in bed. I don't know how everybody's playing Switch in bed. I can't do it. And also, I'm just tired when I get to bed. Like when I get to bed, I want to go to sleep.
Yeah. I also find like now that I've gotten older and my vision has gotten worse, like I have reading glasses now, Sean, that I got
We want to
recently.
see it, Ryan. The people want to see the reading glasses.
I'm not grabbing them out now because they're across the room and that would involve getting
We
them
must
out.
see them.
I will not do that today, but at some point. But as a result, I don't want to sit there in bed with my reading glasses on playing Switch because like
That
sometimes
sounds
I can't
next to
read
the candle.
text, right? Like that's what I mean. Like I think there's like there are things little annoyances like that as to why I don't do that. But anyways,
Fire
on,
Emblem.
Sean.
Which one? Awakening.
Awakening.
I'm adding to my list. Okay.
Yeah. Which again, I've also kind of moved it to my list as well because I think that's absolutely one. That's
Sorry, what's the crisis in Awakening? Do you remember what the premise is for this one? Because this is generally what kind of brings me into these games.
Oh well, you of course, Sean, create your own character who wakes up in a fantasy world that you don't recognize because you have amnesia.
I don't remember anything. Yeah,
you
I knew
have
that.
amnesia. And
Yeah, I
you're
knew
going
that.
around and you're fighting stuff. And there's of course this war. These demons are coming from another world, and Crom and your other friends in your party are trying to figure out, why this is happening. And of course, you're fighting this arch rival named Marth, who's like this masked character.
Martha's a bad guy?
Well, in the game, yes. And you're like, who is this Marth person behind the mask? And there's this whole mystery that, again, I don't want to spoil because it's actually pretty cool.
Okay,
the story's actually pretty cool in this game.
Good setup. Good. I have all these. I have the Crom and Marth amiibo.
Yeah.
But I don't know what. Only because they're in Smash Brothers.
Yeah. Now you might finally find out what they're all about because this is
All right.
Crom's game. Crom is like kind of like the lead character outside of
Shout out to Crom.
your
Google
created
Crom.
character.
Yeah, nice.
Next up, Sean, Witcher 3.
God damn it. Oh man, yes, yeah. I need to do this one. I've not played it. Well, let me see. I played a couple hours of this one. Golly, I've got a bad habit, don't I? I start up these games, I hop on my horse, I do a couple, like I did look, this game is how many years old? Didn't it just celebrate over 10 years old?
Yeah, 20. It's exactly 10 years old, Sean.
There's a great
2015.
side mission that everybody talked about where like it's a well and there's like some lady in a well and there's like a demon down there or something. Like I remember obviously vaguely that one. So I played a bunch but didn't ever finish it. But it did break what I thought. I thought at one point that like the Dragon Age games were my one and only Western RPG in the fantasy setting. Because I kind of struggled to get into Skyrim and Oblivion because I love Dragon Age so much. And so The Witcher was sort of like, ooh, maybe this is it. And actually, I played the first couple hours of Witcher 2 as well. I think I got it with Games with Gold on Xbox 360, right?
It was actually even outside of that. After the Games with Gold run, Sean, they then gave it away to anyone who wanted to, as long as you claimed it within like this 3-month
maybe
period.
that was it too.
Yeah.
I remember that too. You know what? I think I ended up seeing that and wanting to claim this free game that I had forgotten that I already had with Games with Gold. That's how that one worked.
Yeah, because they had like 2 separate periods where you could get that game for free.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. It was like to promote Witcher 2.
So I will say, and for people who know me, this is going to come as no surprise, but this is just how I'm wired, Ryan. Yeah. There has been a non-insignificant amount of time where I was putting off playing Witcher 3 because I was planning on playing Witcher 2, and then I never did. And that doesn't make any sense because actually you'd think I'd want to go back and play Witcher 1 if I cared anything about like the subsequent games, but I didn't. And so I'm just a big dum-dum on this.
But I think that's the thing. Witcher 3 is a game that even though I put it on kind of the quintessential role-playing game list, it's a game that I spent 50 hours with and never finished.
Oh, really?
So it's the type of game, Sean, where I wouldn't feel bad about not finishing it as long as you gave it like a solid try. And like that, you're going to find this with a lot of these games, especially like one we're going to talk about, 2 places from now, Sean, where it's like these are games that like other people might see as some of the best RPGs of all time, but might not necessarily be for you, and that's okay. Like that's why I don't really put the predication that you have to finish these games, right?
I'm going
like
to struggle with that.
Them and kind
I'm
of
going to struggle with it.
Yeah.
Seth in the chat says, "Is this Sean's RPG intervention?" Indeed, yes. This is the goal because look, I've already said it. I'm a big fan of this show. I love that you assign Garrett games to play. I love that he's up for it actually, and every once in a while, that's kind of what I need, Ryan. This is why I've asked Rybo to assign me Liza P to play. Like I just tell me what to do. Somebody just please somebody just tell me what
it
to
worked
do.
with Expedition 33. People told you to play it. You played it and you loved it.
That game.
Yeah. I haven't even played that game yet, Sean. So
I'm hearing off to the side. I'm hearing some really great stuff about Death Stranding 2 that I might be able to play, but I haven't played the first one, so I don't know.
I was just going to say, because like I since I haven't been on a podcast to talk about what I've been playing lately, I've been playing Death Stranding 1, Sean. And I realized very quickly after about 15 hours of that game is not for me.
Yeah, just the game, the gameplay.
Because I am not excited for it. The story's cool, and I
Yeah.
love that, and I kind of want to like go and watch a YouTube video that it's just like the story.
That's what I might
But
do.
like the gameplay, man, it's not for me. It's
Yeah.
the packages, the building stuff, like it's all the stuff I don't really like in games. So
Yeah.
But moving on, Sean, this is a slam dunk. Mass Effect trilogy.
Oh, of course.
Obviously.
Yeah. Multiple times actually on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would also argue the Dragon Age trilogy kind of on here, which I know you've also played. So
Yeah, but I mean, Mass Effect could be one that I continue. I mean, I started one of my seventh thing was about the James Webb Space Telescope.
yeah.
Like I genuinely love this stuff. It gives me life. Like I can't help. I'm smiling like a stupid idiot on the on this podcast talking about this space stuff. So yeah, Mass Effect is up there. It'll be sort of what do you say? Like melancholic playing some of these games as time goes on, just because BioWare is not what BioWare was, and I'm a hometown fan on this stuff. You know, BioWare is just in the heart of Edmonton here, and they're just. It's not the same, and that's really, really. Those are such special. I guess it just, it makes you appreciate them for what they are, and when they were made. They're just so special. So,
Speaking of that, Sean, did you see the notice this week that went out that Anthem is officially shutting down in 6 months, and that it will no longer be playable, like because it's not playable offline, and they're shutting the servers off for it.
Ryan, we need to have some sort of other beacon of light and hope, because it's just way too dark out there. This is all.
I only said that
I
'cause
thought
I'm like,
Anthem
I
was
kinda
so
wanna play Anthem
promising.
now.
Oh man.
Yeah, that actually makes me want to like boot up Anthem and like play it one last time before.
That does suck, because I'm sure I bought, not that it was a lot of money, but Anthem has been on sale for like $2 or $5 for that Ultimate Edition, whatever it's called. And I'm sure I bought it at least once. And so this is that whole, you don't really own games, they can shut them down at any time. But
Yeah, I bought it for $1 on Xbox.
there it is. Yeah. Look, the flying mechanics were really good in that game.
Yeah.
Damn.
Seth, of course, adding Dynamite in the chat, wanting Sean to do a podcast with someone who can match his stuff about space.
Can you imagine?
Interview someone from NASA. Just
Yeah, who's
imagine
out
the
there?
Sean science podcast. That would be really cool.
Oh, man. Yes, that'd be great.
All right. Well, this next one, Sean, it doesn't jive with me, but I put this in for the fans, Sean, for the fans. Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2.
Yeah, not a shot. I have played, I've played a little bit of, well, actually quite a bit of Kingdom Hearts 3D. What does the 3D stand for again, Ryan? Because it was for the 3DS, but it was like
it was
Diamonds.
Dream Drop Distance.
That's so
because it was
stupid.
3Ds.
Yeah.
The
I'll
title?
give you
Yeah.
3Ds.
It's-
Stupid ass game. I hate Kingdom Hearts. I'm sorry. Like, people really love these games.
I mean, Seth just wants to see you play Kingdom Hearts now, Sean.
What's the ship called? Is some gummy ship? Is it called the gummy?
It's literally called the Gummy Ship.
What the heck? Not. And I love Disney. I love Disney. What do they do? What is this?
See, at least I have the excuse that I don't like Disney, so of course I'm not going to like Kingdom Hearts. But like,
I actually played Dream Drop Distance while in Disney World. I was like getting the maximum, and I'm like, oh, this is awful.
yeah,
This game sucks.
Oh, God.
I think one of my favorite things to do, I say jokingly, of course, but I think one of my favorite things to do is saying that a game sucks. I like, it's so like, we're born in the 80s, right? Like, everything sucks.
Yep, everything sucks, Sean.
So good.
There were some good things, but
No Kingdom Hearts. That is not going on my list, Ryan.
on the other side of the coin, something I know dang well, I don't think you've ever played because these are on the Genesis. Fantasy Star, any of them, 1 through 4.
I can't even picture Phantasy Star.
So they're like they're very classic turn-based JRPGs.
Yeah.
From the era, so very similar to something like a Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy VI. But
Right.
it's on the Genesis, and it's sci-fi. It's in space.
Is it on NSO?
I think Phantasy Star 4 is on NSO.
I might have to go check that out.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Garrett started, I think we ended up giving the code over to Garrett. There's another remaster collection.
The Lunar Collection.
The Lunar, is that on your list?
It is on my list.
Dude, that game,
It's not on the checklist, but it's on like the recommendations list.
it's just called Lunar? I'm so
Yeah,
stupid.
the Lunar Remastered, Sean, is the name of the collection.
This is why I haven't been on the show.
Especially because I explained the premise to you and about how it's actually like on the moon, and you're like, "What is going
Yes.
on? Why
Yeah,
is this
Lunar.
fantasy world on the moon?"
Yeah, that also should launch it up to the top of the list.
There you go.
It looked gorgeous. The remaster, they did a great job with it. I thought it looked really cool.
Yeah, those games still look amazing, and I think they did a great job with that collection. But next up, Sean, Undertale.
Oh no, I'm not.
No?
I'm not a fan of the.
Not for you?
And look, a lot of these are obviously the quintessential role playing games, and so they're going to have hardcore fans. So the Kingdom Hearts people are going to come after me, and these people are going to come after me as well. Did you play this? Did you? This does not seem like a Ryan
Undertale.
game.
I
You love it?
Undertale. Yeah. I was not a believer about Undertale, but I was like, oh, it's on PSN. I'm going to try it. And then, like a PS Plus, I should say. And I tried it and I loved it. I was not
What
expecting
is it what's it, like the Mother series?
So yeah, it's like a spiritual, like, it's very similar to like the Earthbound games.
Earthbound,
which
yeah,
I don't like, but I loved Undertale. I don't know what it was.
So weird.
It was
I
just
don't like
something about
Earthbound either.
It was like the story, the style, like everything about like Undertale, like totally worked for me. Which is why like I'm really excited to play Deltarune at some point because it just came to Switch 2, and I can't buy games now, but I can now, so I can actually maybe play Deltarune at some point.
This is where I'm really sad that you live actually so far away. And we need to do something about this, Ryan, because I genuinely feel, I don't know if other people feel about this. Maybe this is why we all listen to podcasts and stuff. I genuinely feel if you and I sat down on a couch together for like a weekend and you just put some of these games that I'm like shaking my head at going like, I'm like a child, like not eating their broccoli. Like, not Undertale. I genuinely feel if you and I sat down together and experienced, if I was in the same room as you experiencing these games, I would like them. I think you have that kind of power.
Especially, for God's sake, Sean, I'd be able to turn you around on Zelda 2 in a hurry.
There it is.
Yeah. And you're
Yeah,
just
you're
like,
just saying-
I was listening to your show last night,
That
Sean.
game
I'm just
sucks
like,
too.
except for the fact that it's secretly the best Zelda game and you don't even know it.
I need you. I need somebody to like push me through. Like keep going, bro.
For God's sakes, I got Garrett to like that game. Zelda 2.
I heard.
He loves that game now. And he had like the same attitude going into it. So yeah.
Garrett and I need to have a chat one of these days.
should.
I listen. I get heated when I hear Garrett talk about some things and some like he's been a little hard on that Expedition 33. I hear you, Garrett. I hear him not liking some of these. I heard the Mass Effect conversation. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can just wait until we get to Garrett's suggestion for the bucket list. It has to do with Mass Effect.
Okay.
Spoiler alert. Next up, you mentioned it earlier, Skyrim.
Yeah. This has to. Well, Oblivion is probably first. And so
You should 100% play.
I've played just a smidge of Skyrim. You know, I've woken up. You know, I've gotten to that part.
You talked to a guard, and the guard talked to you about how he got an arrow in the knee. And
Yep. Yeah,
you didn't
very,
want that to
very
be you?
little though.
Yeah.
Do you think though, like Oblivion now has the remaster? It is on my list for 2025. I would really like to play Oblivion this year.
Of the two, I would say you should play the Oblivion remaster.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I'm also like chomping at the bit to buy the Oblivion remaster because I haven't been able to buy it yet, Sean. But I can.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Well,
you know, Black
because
Friday's
remember,
coming up.
I haven't been able to buy games this year until Canada Day, so I can officially.
Well, you should buy it
games
before they close the studio, Ryan.
again. Please, that's not happening.
Well,
I got two more for you, Sean.
okay.
Next one, Super Nintendo Classic, Secret of Mana.
Oh no, I've never played any of the Evermore amount, any of these secret games.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like this isn't on Switch Online, but there is like a collection on Switch called the Collection of Mana that has these games in it, and it's very, very good.
Was it on the Mini, the Super Nintendo Classic Edition? I can't remember.
I think it might have been. I can't remember.
Because I can like picture it, but I might have I modded
I
my
was
Classic
gonna say
Edition.
it will definitely be in the modded version if you mod
yeah,
it.
I have it. I feel like I should just plug that in.
The interesting
in the
thing
new
about
house.
Secret of Mana, and the reason I wanted to include it on this list, it's actually a really good co-op game. If you have another person, because like you have 3 companions throughout the story, and it's an action RPG. And anyone, if you have a multi-tap, actually, you could have 3 people playing at the same time. Where you plug a controller in, and they're controlling the other members of your party. So
that's so cool. I have made 3 other companions. They're my children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? But that would be like an interesting game. Like you could play with Link when he's like old enough to actually play like RPGs.
That's
as an
so
example.
cool. Yeah, I mean he's getting there. Like he's 8, man.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Dude, time flies, man.
Tell me about it. Yeah, but he's all in on what is he doing? He's playing Fall Guys, he's playing Minecraft, Mario Maker 2, and just before I came down here, he's playing Pikmin 4. So
interesting.
Yeah,
which I haven't played. That's officially going to be on.
I know. That's why I was thinking of you
to buy. You know, final game, Sean. I know you've played Tales of Arise, but the one that constantly is on the list of like the go-to RPGs is Tales of Symphonia on the game.
With a Z?
No. Tales of Symphonia.
Oh, Symphonia.
Like
that was because I always think these games are exotic, so obviously they've got to have some
Symphonia is an exotic sounding name.
That's true.
And also, this is a shout out to Kevin Ainsworth, who's in the chat, who's like the biggest Tales of Symphonia fan.
Okay.
But because it got like a remaster on all the platforms. But the GameCube version, of course, is the best version. But maybe we'll see it on GameCube NSO at some point. But,
Kevin says this is his favorite game of all time.
Yeah, we did an entire episode about it where he talked about it.
That is high praise, man. Holy crap.
It's good, especially if you like Tales games. So
we should tally up the how long to beat hours for all the games you've just told me about today.
It's easily in the thousands. But
do you think so? The thousands?
Yeah. Especially if you consider the Mass Effect trilogy, Sean, or Skyrim.
Skyrim for sure. Yeah.
Witcher 3. Witcher 3 is a 100-hour game on its own.
I remember that being like one of the first times I heard that kind of like triple digit number in the hour count.
See, that's the thing, Sean. And we're going to, now that we've finished the checklist, like, and we're going to kind of move on to my recommendations for you. I actually took that in mind where like I created a list that has some longer stuff, but a lot of shorter role-playing games.
Right.
So that they're a lot more digestible. Because I think, you know, one of the things that I've noticed from the time that we've done stuff together is that you just obviously don't have a ton of free time.
Yeah.
You don't always want to spend like 3 months playing one game. Like, not everything's Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You don't want to spend all your time with 3 different games. So I think like the amount of time it takes to get into a game and then how long it takes to finish, honestly, is a big factor for you enjoying it. So
yeah.
I actually take that in mind when building this list here. So let's talk about some of them. So first off,
let's talk about it.
Let's throw in the 2 that I'm going to pull from the checklist that you haven't played yet. Fire Emblem Awakening and Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
You should play those at some point, Sean. Especially Chrono Trigger. It's amazing.
Yep. Wait, where am I playing Chrono? I think it was on sale on Steam. Like, is the Steam port any good? Like, where?
The Steam port's fine. Yeah.
Or should I just? I think was it on the Super Nintendo or did I mod that in there?
It's probably on your modded Super Nintendo Classic as well. But it's also not available on any other platforms, modern platforms, except PC. Otherwise, there's a Nintendo DS version of the game.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're looking for the PS1 version, which sucks because it has load times.
I had that on the Vita.
Yeah, but the problem with that version is the load times are like when you hit a randomized battle, Sean, it's like 15 seconds.
That's why I stopped playing that on the Vita. Yeah.
So yeah, you have to play at least the Super Nintendo version, the DS version, or the PC version. Any one of those is fine.
I mean, the DS version is not a bad idea. I could probably mod that onto. I've got a modded 3DS around here as well. So
yeah, perfect.
But also, I will purchase it legally.
Purchase it, of course.
Yes.
The key pro tip about Chrono Trigger on the DS, by the way, Sean. Chrono Trigger on the DS, if you buy the English version, is fairly expensive. But if you buy the Japanese version of it, it has the full English version of the game on it, and usually you can get it for about $15.
There you go, little man.
So that's your pro tip for the day. In fact, that was how I got Garrett to buy Chrono Trigger on the DS because he didn't know about that. So those are the 2 games from the checklist that I'll recommend. But I've got other games for you, Sean.
Okay, nice.
Number 1, Parasite Eve. You like Resident Evil.
Yeah.
You like, more action-y style role-playing games, but with a turn-based flair.
Yep.
Parasite Eve is a game that I think you would actually really enjoy. It's
I would.
available on the Vita. So that's probably the best place to play it.
Yep.
Otherwise, you got to roll out your PS3 or
I just sold it.
PS1.
I just sold our last PS3. We
so
had many PS3s. The good slim one, not the super duper slim one that was like a Lego toy, but like the decent slim one. I did not get very much money for it though, Ryan.
That
was too bad.
They're not getting too much.
Parasite Eve is one that I feel like this is one that isn't entirely crazy popular. It's not super well known, but like if you were there back in the day, like you kind of would go to a Blockbuster or whatever and just kind of like roam through and see, Squaresoft. Oh yeah, we're gonna play this. Like I love Final Fantasy. Like this one, I think benefited so much from Final Fantasy VII and just kind of sort of like launching Squaresoft much more mainstream. Of course, Squaresoft much very well good games before that. But yeah, Parasite Eve, I have watched quite a lot of it, but I've never really sat down to play it much more than the opening sequence and everybody burns on fire, and man, what an opening.
And you're going to see kind of with the list I'm going to recommend here, these are games that I think you would really like, but some of them are off the beaten path of like the checklist, the big.
Can I ask you before we go further, do you consider Resident Evil games role playing in any sort of way?
No. I mean,
I didn't think so, but they're on my list as well of games I would love to conquer the Resident Evil.
Well, we can build you a list later at some point.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Parasite Eve is the closest to like a survival horror role playing game that you're probably
right.
gonna get. But,
yeah, that's why I asked. Like they're kind of tangentially. In my mind, they kind of almost in the same space, but not quite.
Yeah. Next one, my favorite game of last year, Sean. Metaphor ReFantazio.
Oh yeah, it's on Game Pass as well.
It's on Game Pass, but again, the reason, even though this is the longest game on this list of games I'm going to recommend to you, it's the one that I think you'll actually enjoy the most, especially because it has some like roots with Expedition 33 in that you have the action element to the game where you don't have to play all the battles turn-based. Like if you're grinding for enemies, you just run around the environment and like beat the enemies up in action-based combat on the open world to then get a bunch of experience, and then or you can wear down the enemies and then go into turn-based and then beat them with their
great
health. Like
yeah,
there's a lot of really cool stuff. Also, the story's incredible in that game. So I think you would actually probably like it more than you think you would.
Interesting,
so, especially because I know you like Persona. Because I
was just gonna say, Persona. I have Persona 5 Royal on Switch. I don't know if that's going to be on your list as well, but man,
I know that you've played because I did a little homework, Sean, going into this. I looked at your PSN list and saw how many hours you put in Persona 5, and I'm like, you don't need to go back to that game because it clearly didn't connect with you the same way that 4 did. But I also think the other one, the dark horse, would actually be Persona 3 Reload.
Interesting,
because I actually think especially because it's shorter. It gets to the action a lot quicker. I know some people our community would argue against that, which is why I actually recommend Metaphor over that. Mm-hmm. But I think one of those two, I think you would probably really enjoy. And Metaphor is kind of my pick of the two. But
I want to do this with you, man. Like I want to, like you'd have to be okay with it, obviously. Like, hey, Ryan, come watch me play games for like a regularly scheduled stream. Like I need to. This is how my life just works. I need to build this in to a schedule. Like if I leave it to chance, it's not going to happen. It's
one of those things where maybe we need to do what we do with Garrett with you, where we assign you one game.
That's what I'm saying. Tell me what to do. I don't know what to do with my life.
So that's why I'm building you a list, because you asked me to build you a list. But then we'll have to, by the end of this, we'll pick a game. So next one,
snap. How exciting.
Sean, I would love to expose you to Genesis role-playing games.
Okay.
The world of Genesis role-playing games, because you don't play a lot of Sega Genesis games.
I really don't.
But the one that I would actually recommend, especially because I know you actually like strategy role-playing games, Sean, is Shining Force 2 on the Sega Genesis. Now, this was the game that got me into role-playing games.
Okay.
It was the first role-playing game that I played that I really enjoyed and could not put down. The best thing about Shining Force 2, though, Sean, which is why I think it would appeal to you, one, the runtime is pretty short. You can beat this game in about 15 hours. But two, the battles go very quick. There's a really fast pace to the combat. Even though it's a turn-based game, it flows very quickly. And not only that, it's got tons of waifus, similar to Fire Emblem.
I mean, you're bearing the lead.
Yeah, like there's a lot of things that I know that you like about this game. So, plus it's got Rewind on Switch if you play it on the Switch NSO, because it's on NSO. I think that's actually a great game, and one that Garrett will be playing at some point. Dragon's Crown is the next one. I'm pretty sure you've played it, but
nope, never even heard of it. Dragon's Crown.
Dragon's Crown. So this is a Vanillaware game. This was on PlayStation 3, but it is on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, as well as Vita. And this is an action RPG where you pick one of 5 classes. And it's all hand-drawn. It's got this beautiful art style to it. And it's kind of like a beat-em-up game, kind of like Scott Pilgrim or River City Girls. But it's a total action RPG. So it's got stats, it's got gear, it's got online play, which is actually really fun. This game is awesome. I love Dragon's Crown. And I think you would actually really like it because I know you like beat-em-ups. I
do like beat-em-ups. Ooh. Yeah. I do something, I don't know if other people do this as well. Like, that is that title, I don't know if I love that title. Dragon's Crown.
It's very generic.
It's, generic, super nerdy. Like, I don't know, man. It's just like, Yeah. So I need to look past that. And that happens with a few of these, you know, Fantasy Star, I think I would argue kind of similar. Like some of these are just words,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, just made up words, made up towns.
Shining Force. Like you're kind of,
Yeah,
I don't know.
of
What
course.
is a title?
Yeah.
What are colors, Ryan?
What even are colors?
I don't know.
Next one, Sean, just came to Xbox, and many argue it's not even a role-playing game, but I'm lumping it in here anyways. It's Final Fantasy 16.
Yep.
Dude, this game is awesome. I can't believe you haven't played this game yet. I actually think, again, this is the type of game that I think you would probably get you into Final Fantasy, and I think you would actually really enjoy it.
Interesting.
In the same way that I actually think if Donnie actually gave this game a chance, he would actually really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that he probably wouldn't be able to live with himself, knowing that he liked a Final Fantasy.
You're sort of like walking the gradient of stubborn gamers. It's like it starts with Donnie, most stubborn, a little softer is me, and then like maybe more open-minded people are beyond that.
Yeah, yeah. But dude, again, it's really cool. It's got these, people that are able to turn into these giant summon creatures, and they're called dominants, and the dominants kind of like shape the way the world works. And your character finds out he's a dominant, and then he goes on this big adventure, and it's so cool.
Nice.
It also is so gorgeous. And finally, the last game I'm going to recommend, Sean, is another tactical role playing game. Final Fantasy Tactics.
Tactics, there it is. I was waiting. Yeah. I was waiting for Tactics. Yes, we're getting a remaster though.
Yeah, which is why this is the type of game where I think you should wait till the remaster comes out.
Yeah,
and play kind of the enhanced version of it because it comes with like an enhanced version. And I think it's gonna be really good. So.
Tactics, I've played a little bit. I think on the Vita, I played a little bit of this and then watched a lot again. Neighbor Matt playing on PS1. Absolutely gorgeous game. Love the music especially. But this is one that I've created a ceiling in my mind that I'm not smart enough to figure it out and beat it. But I think now, if I were to return to it, having played, especially like Fire Emblem games, having only lost Ingrid accidentally with the permadeath.
Yep.
Of course.
I mean, there's not even permadeath in Final Fantasy Tactics, so you don't even have to worry about that.
Yeah, so I'm probably good there.
Yeah. The other two I kind of had just as honorable mentions. Alpha Protocol, which is kind of like it's a BioWare style spy role playing game made by Obsidian, and it's on PC only.
Snap.
There is also an Xbox 360 and a PS3 version of this game, but the PC version from GOG, which goes for about $15 to $20, is actually probably the way to go with that. Seth, of course, is just all caps in the chat. Hell, yeah, Alpha Protocol. I know a lot of people in our community actually love Alpha Protocol.
It's a Sega published game?
It's a Sega published game, but it's made by Obsidian.
Obsidian. Yeah, that is wild.
Yeah. This game is awesome and super unique. I get it. It's kind of like a James Bond BioWare game.
I guess I have to add this to the old wish list. There's a special... I'm on Steam now, and I'm realizing there's a Sega Atlas summer sale, Ryan.
There you go.
So Metaphor Refantastico is also on sale. How much is that one going for?
But it's also on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass. That's probably... And it can get it literally at any point in time from the library.
Yeah.
So
like that time you got it from the library and didn't play it.
Yes, and I probably will do that again. Kevin Ainsworth in the chat says that I should play Triangle Strategy. That is another game that I own. Yeah. Yes.
I was tempted to put that on the list simply because you were the #1 Triangle Strategy fan. But
that might be, if I were ever to come back to the show, right? I might come to you with a list of RPGs that I own that I have not played. And that list, I mean, it would be comparable in quantity to this.
Yeah. Interesting. And the last one I actually had was Star Ocean: The Second Story R, which is a role-playing, it's a remake of a PS1 game, but it's also a space role-playing game, Sean.
What was it called again? What did you say?
Star Ocean: The Second Story R.
Yeah, no wonder I didn't hear you.
Again, very generic style name, but this game is a really fun action RPG. There's actually a demo that you can play for it. It's on pretty much everything under the sun, and it's very fun. So shout out to that game. But,
shout out.
Those are the games that I recommend for you, Sean. Now, first of all, did any of these kind of appeal to you? Are there any of them that are like you kind of want to play right away? What do you think?
Like all of them.
Okay. I'm trying to think of like a game to recommend to you. So I'm trying to gauge your excitement on some of these.
Yeah, literally all. This is probably we may be at a wheel situation.
Maybe we should put these on a wheel. Actually.
This might be because I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. Like they all.
You know what, Sean? Give me 2 seconds.
Are we doing a wheel?
We're gonna do a wheel. Give me a second.
That's all right. Yarden in the chat is recommending I play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which I do have access to because I'm on Ribo's Steam family. So I could be playing. Look, I could be playing anything. How do we all how does everybody do it? How is everybody happy with the games that they've played and not played? Are you guys satisfied out there? What's your satisfaction level?
I just know that my list is just so deep at this point of games that I haven't played or finished that it's just like.
Is that your wheel?
That is the wheel I just put together of the games we just talked about.
Oh, okay. So you've got multiple.
As you can tell, I pasted them in there a bajillion times.
Okay.
So.
Yes, I like this. Yes.
All right, you ready for me to click spin on this?
Okay, so is it like the first one? Do we want to just let the wheel decide, or do you want me to give you a reaction to it?
It's your rules, Sean. Let me tell you. Actually, you know what? Let's spin it once. Tell me how you feel, Sean.
Let's see how I feel. Because if I don't, okay, I'm gonna do it that way. We're just gonna see or spin the wheel to see how I feel.
I also think it's weird that there's this one purple streak, and the rest of it is all the same color.
Okay, what do we got?
We can't even tell.
I can't even see.
It's Final Fantasy.
Fantasy Tactics. I'm waiting for the remaster.
Okay, so we'll remove all instances of Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah. Yes.
You should play the remaster when it comes out in September. End of September is when it comes out, and you might even wait for longer because that's when all the other games are coming out. It comes out the week before Borderlands 4 comes out, as an example. Sean.
Oh my God, what are we supposed to do? Borderlands 4. I don't even care if it makes me weird to say it. I'm excited for Borderlands 4.
Are you playing that one with Chelsea?
I hope so, and I actually hope that we can maybe get a little Borderlands 3
because I was going to say, I would love to play Borderlands with you at some point, Sean.
Oh yeah,
because I'm not really into those games, but I
tiny
do want to play
guys.
Yeah,
I'm going to stop doing everything else. I'm just going to play video games. I'm going to stop sleeping. Sleeping's stupid.
I know we've got questions after this, so that's why I've got to.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
I'm sorry.
Sean.
Sorry about that.
Oh,
Shining Force 2.
How do you feel about this one, Sean?
I think I feel good. Was this the one with the beautiful key art on it?
Yes,
no, this one was the different one.
This is the Sega Genesis role-playing game. It's on NSO, so you can play it on NSO. It moves super quick. It's got waifus, and it's awesome.
It's got waifus.
And again, it's the role-playing game that got me into role-playing games, Sean.
Okay.
Like young Ryan, when young Ryan played this game, it blew his mind. In fact, I'll look this up. Because if I pull this up here, because there's the North American cover for this, Sean. Look at this. It's so boring. It's dude with a shield. He's roar. But
he got a face in the clouds.
But this Japanese cover, Sean. Of course, as I zoom in,
yes,
it does not get bigger. Of course, looks so much cooler. It's got a dude with a sword, and it's all anime like. It's all very anime, Sean.
Can I tell you? I'm watching some gameplay off to the side here, Ryan. I need to tell you something. I've got a major issue with it right out of the gates, this might halt my excitement for it. The font is a major problem.
Yeah.
Why is it all in italics?
Because that's how Camelot does it. Because this is a game made by Camelot.
Yeah.
Who makes all the Mario sports games, and they made all of their games until after Golden Sun. They made with that font.
Yeah,
it's weird. Do you want me to spin again?
How long is this one?
It's 15 hours, 20 hours.
I don't know. Yeah, spin it again. Okay. Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
It's fine. I'm going to get Garrett to play that game eventually, and we're going to have a big discussion about it, and it's going to be awesome. So,
what do we got here?
Star Ocean: The Second Story R, Sean, is what it picked.
Yes, I can't even pronounce this game.
Yeah, the main thing is with this one, you don't even have to commit to it right away. There's a demo. Just play the demo.
It does look. I'm just trying to think how I would play this game.
Yeah, it's on. It's on
buy
PC, it's on Xbox, but yeah, you'd have to buy
Maybe library? Maybe the library.
The library.
Give me one more. Okay, so we're going to do this. The last one, and if not this one, then Star Ocean.
Okay. Here we go, Sean.
We'll get Chrono Trigger here eventually, everybody.
You could just tell me you want to play Chrono Trigger, Sean. Ooh, Final Fantasy 16.
Fantasy 6 is a good one.
No, Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, 16. I can't... These Roman numerals, I can't even tell.
16. You'd have to buy this one, too.
I'd have to buy this one. Okay, Star Ocean it is. Star Ocean, I don't know how accessible it is from the library. Let's see.
Good point, because there's no physical edition of the Xbox version of that game.
Why the PS5?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's
with
probably
a disc.
Then.
Yeah, we could see.
Yeah, it came out 2 years ago. So.
I could get it at any time. There's no holds on it. I could go pick it up today if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 16.
I actually think
you tell me then, Ryan. Ryan, you are the final authority on this. Final Fantasy 16 or Star Ocean, whatever the hell it's called.
I actually think you'll like Final Fantasy 16 more.
There it is.
You'd have to play it on PlayStation 5, which I know you kind of loathe a little bit, but
I do not.
But
that's what people say about me.
Honestly, dude, I think this is a game you would actually really enjoy.
I just hate how big it is. The PS5 is enormous, and we just did not deal with that.
Will
we all
it even
just
fit
kind
in
of
your new house,
accepted
Sean?
it.
Will it even fit in there? You know, will it fit through the front door?
I can't move it. I'm gonna have to get the movers for the PS5.
Yeah. Well, Sean, to round out the show, we've heard from the NPCs, the non-podcast characters.
That's the best.
And they have submitted a list of games to you as well.
Oh, snap.
Bucket list games.
Oh, no.
Starting with Rybo, who says Wild Arms. Sean, have you ever heard of Wild Arms before?
No, I mix up. There's another Wild something from the Super Nintendo days that I keep mixing up.
Oh, it's like Wild Guns, probably.
Wild Guns. That's exactly what I'm thinking
But
of. Yes.
Wild Arms is a PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 first-party PlayStation role-playing series all about the Wild West. It's like a Wild West role-playing game series.
That does nothing for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, these games, by the way, are super cheap because you can actually pick them up on PlayStation 5 because they brought them to PlayStation Plus, and they're, I think, $10 Canadian to buy if you want to play them.
Are they part of the collection at all? Like, I have PS Plus.
They're on premium. You have to have premium.
I think I have premium.
Oh, well then, yeah, they're on premium.
There you go.
Yeah, because premium is like the top tier that has like the PlayStation 1 games.
Yeah.
But it has Wild Arms 1 and 2, and they're fun games. But they're also PlayStation 1 games, so that might be hard for you to get into. But Ryu said, and this is quite a list here, Sean, so stick with me. Original Final Fantasy VII, Tales of Symphonia, Final Fantasy Tactics, Mass Effect Trilogy,
Yep.
Dragon Age Origins,
Yep.
Ys 8, Suikoden 2. I feel like these are good starting points in RPGs in my heart. I also want to say Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, but I feel like any Shin Megami Tensei fan would know it's a hard sell if you're not super into the genre. Yeah, I'm not recommending that game to Sean. That
The closest I would have gotten to Shin Megami Tensei was Sharp FE for the Wii U, Ryan.
Or Shin Megami Tensei Persona 4.
Yeah.
Because that's the original title of Persona 4.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I played Persona 4.
Because Persona, Sean, I don't know if you knew this, is a offshoot series of Shin Megami Tensei.
I did know that. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so.
Yes. Very good. That, I will say, that entire list almost entirely legitimized by the inclusion of Dragon Age Origins.
Yeah. It's also almost identical to the checklist I had, except for Ys 8 and then Suikoden 2.
Yeah.
Were the only games I didn't have.
Ys Gimon 8.
And to be fair, I haven't played Ys 8 either. But I've heard
Oh, wow.
people
Oh,
like it.
wow. Ryan.
Yeah. I'm just not really into Falcom games. But moving on,
Nobody
Croco
is.
Kyle says, I just have to add 2 to the bucket list. Baldur's Gate 3, which I know you've played.
God, no, not. I did the character creator. Oh, no. Yes, Baldur's Gate 3. Damn it.
Yeah. And then, of course, Metaphor Re Fantastico.
Fantastico,
Croco Kyle
yes.
says.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Baldur's
the
Gate.
attention in this important matter, is what he
Or even the first two Baldur's. Did you ever play the first two Baldur's Gate games, Ryan?
I did play those.
They're hard as balls.
They are not easy games. No.
Yeah, damn. Or the Wasteland games, or the original Fallout games. There's oh no.
What's interesting is actually I went to
so
IGN's
stressed.
top 100 role playing games list, Sean, and like the original Fallout was in like the top 20, and their top game of all time was Baldur's Gate 3. So,
Oh, was it? We need to do. I would love for us to do some outrageous large list.
I don't know if you knew this, Sean. Baldur's Gate 3 is a multiplayer game. 4 of us could play that game together if we wanted to.
We need to do. There's so much. I want to play Fallout 76 with Fee. I want to do all these. Oh, there's so many.
There's only so
things.
much time though, Sean.
Okay, well, I'm leaving my family. We're going to dedicate all our time to this.
Yeah.
Quit my
And
job.
Final suggestion to the list comes to us from Garrett Bland, who says bucket list Mass Effect 2. Oh wait, that's me.
Yeah, get on it, Garrett. Hurry up. Although maybe don't. He doesn't even like Mass Effect. I don't even want to hear it.
Did you not hear him talk about that for an entire episode?
Yeah.
He liked that game. Just not as much as you and I. Of course.
Yeah,
But he liked
yeah.
it. But you also have to look at it from like the perspective he just played those games for the first time, whereas we played them when they were new. Like I think that plays a little.
It's so hard for me to imagine what that's like. It's probably KOTOR for you and me.
Yeah.
Like, you probably have a really difficult time like comprehending how I could be so not super high on it. The twist just didn't get me. I'll just say that the twist. I thought it was fine. I thought it was a predictable kind of twist.
Yeah. Well, Sean, we also have some questions from the NPCs as well.
Oh,
by the
bring
way,
it on.
We don't get to that many questions on the show, so shout out to the NPCs for coming out this week with questions.
Thanks, everybody.
First up, Nagachaka asks, can you kindly list the following Nintendo Switch role-playing games from greatest to worst? Paper Mario Thousand Year Door Remake, Mario & Luigi Brothership, Bug Fables, and Super Mario RPG Remake. I look forward to hearing the right answers from you. Well, Nagachaka, I've only played one of these, and that's Thousand Year Door Remake, and I didn't even like that game very much. So I'm not going to play your game. I will put them in the order that you've listed in here: Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, Mario & Luigi Brothership, Bug Fables, and Super Mario RPG Remake.
Yeah,
Sean, I don't think you've played any of these either.
I don't think I played any of them.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Thousand Year Door Remake is fine. I don't really like that game though. But next up, Kiku says, if you could only play one genre of game for the rest of your life, what would it be? You better say role-playing games or else.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm going to say role-playing games, Kiku. I think that's my answer.
It'd be strange for me to say any other sort of genre. But like, you want something, long. You want something you can just like, if you're going to play one.
Well, again, it's not even one game. It's like one genre. But you're right. Like you probably would want like a genre with longer games in it. Like, would you really want to pick FPSs? Because like you'd eventually run out of them very quickly.
I might specify a little further to say like MMORPGs.
Interesting.
If I'm going to play something forever, I might want to do it with people.
Yeah, that's true. Because we gave you the taste of an MMO, Sean, but not like we didn't have you dive headfirst into MMOs.
Well, yeah, and there's so many different sort of takes on that. There's a nice family tree to be done. There's so many like cool academic exercises to be done about games, like the sort of genres and the breakdowns and like the, what is it called, like the entomology of it, like where do they come from? Side aside, Ryan, if anybody who's even interested in music at all, specifically metal music, there's an awesome movie and sort of documentary that kind of goes back to the origins of metal music and all the different sort of like subgenres of it. And I've always been really inspired by that, and I'd love to do that with games. Like, how did we get here with these specific subgenres of various RPGs? Like, there's all these sort of like evolutions that happen where one game is just a little bit different than the things that came before, and it spawned a whole bunch of other different kind of things. Like, where did the CRPG games come from? That kind of thing. I think that'd be super cool.
It's just like where did Metroidvania games come from?
Exactly. Like, like, and what were they inspired from? Metroid didn't come from nowhere, but it also was obviously it's the notable one. It's the one that broke away from everything that came before it. So
exactly.
I'd love to do that kind of thing. Very visual exercise, though.
We should. All right, moving on. We got Savoy Prime who says, hello, Ryan, with Final Fantasy IX Remake rumors picking up steam again. What RPG do you feel would benefit from a remake? I'd personally love to see a Vagrant Story remake. I feel it may have been ahead of its time when it originally dropped, and I would love to see get another chance. Also, now that you're able to start buying games now, what will you be your first RPG purchase? But let's tackle the first question, though, Sean. Is there, like, for me, as far as RPG remakes, like dream remakes, honestly, Parasite Eve is probably the top of my list. I think it's a game that, again, it's not accessible to people, but also could look amazing. Like, if it was, like, in the RE engine, as an example, and it was, it had, like, the same gameplay style, like, dude, I would be all over that. I would love that. That's, like, one of my dream like remakes is if we got something like that. But even something like Alpha Protocol, I think it'd be really interesting to see like a remake of something like that. Because I think like a lot of those 360 era RPGs, Sean, I think are actually ripe for, remakes or remasters. Yeah. But I'm curious to know, like, as someone who kind of lives outside of this world of role playing games, do you have a role playing game that you would love to see get a remake? I mean,
there's a couple if I may, Ryan.
Of course, you may.
I just mentioned a couple of them, actually. Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, like, they've had enhanced editions, but I would like to see that sort of, like, brought up to speed, that it's a little bit more accessible for people. Maybe I might throw that one in there. This is an easy answer because it's actually been rumored for Fallout 3 and or New Vegas would just be spectacular. These are sort of like newer ones though. So I feel like the question is more about like what super old ones do you bring back? But maybe like I think the Fallout games, because I think they're important. It's kind of the reason I hone in on them. I think they're more important than people realize, and they deserve a little bit of a spotlight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Garrett and I've talked about that a lot on the show. Like we are both like super excited to see what they can do with like a New Vegas remake or a Fallout 3 remake. I think cool.
But I mean like 1 and 2, like the
1 and 2
the CRPGs, cool, like the top down stuff. Yeah, that'd be those ones always those came around the time, like wasn't it around the same time as like Diablo? Like a lot of those like action role playing games, and then CRPGs really were, and real time strategy games were really popping off. Like this is just
my PC games in general were popping off at that time. Sean.
PC games were there was a lot of World War II stuff back then. I mean, we could do a whole retrospective on
there were so
the
many
90s.
World War II games back then.
Yeah, everything was. Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah, moving tanks around, crazy.
And Ron, as far as your other question about what will be my first RPG purchase, I won't be able to tell you that because I have not finished my tournament bracket for what games I'm going to buy this year. The first game I'm going to buy this year. Because it could be a role-playing game that's on there. And I won't know what game that will be until we do that, which I'm thinking about doing this weekend because I kind of want to stream that, Sean. I don't know if you would be interested in watching that.
I would be very interested in that, Ryan.
Yeah. Because I have a list of like 32 games, Sean, that I'm going to throw in a tournament bracket for to buy first. I mean, Mind's Eye's on the list, Sean. Mind's Eye could just win the whole dang thing, and I could be buying.
Do you have it?
No.
We have a code for it if you want it. It was an indie game.
It would be, of course it is. That would just be hilarious to actually buy Mind's Eye though, which is why it's on the list.
No, whatever you want. Whatever you want.
I'm surprised no one else on the team wanted to just like.
I'm
morbidly curious to see what that game is actually like to play.
I've almost claimed it. Yeah.
Interesting. We'll talk about that after this.
Okay, sounds good.
Ron, I should have an answer. Like I will mention if an RPG doesn't win the bracket, then it'll actually probably be Assassin's Creed Shadows is the first one I buy. Because like I am so excited to play Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's a role-playing game I've been looking forward to forever. Sean, I know you loved it, and I've been just sitting here waiting to play it. So
yes, sir.
I think it's time. But Ryu, of course, has the final question today, which is, what is one RPG you wish you could just forget and experience all for the first time all over again? Which is an interesting question, Sean, because I think like a lot of the role-playing games that I would usually throw in here are like older ones, but then if I replayed them for the first time, Sean,
that's what I was thinking.
I might be worried that I won't like them the same way, right? Like they won't stand the test of time. So I would maybe say something like Persona 5, where it's like new enough, where I think it stands up nowadays, where I would really, really enjoy replaying it for the first time again. But I know I would enjoy replaying it because the mechanics hold up.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. And I guess like in the same line of thinking, Expedition 33, I'd love to wipe that away from my memory and just like do that all over again. Like, yeah, like I don't want to erase my memory of Mass Effect 1 because I might end up like Garrett, not liking it and just pure hating it. He gave it a 4 out of 10. I listened to it. I heard what you said, Garrett.
Again, it wasn't a 4. He liked it, but he wasn't. But again, I can tell how much Garrett liked that game, though, in the sense that he keeps talking about how he wants to play Mass Effect 2. Today's example was not the only time he's mentioned that, where he's like, he actually is like chomping at the bit to play Mass Effect 2 now.
Mass Effect 2, man, that's special stuff. Dude, I wouldn't want to go back because I mean, I could go back to like Persona 4 Golden, and if I were to erase that and play it again, like. It's this whole butterfly effect. Like that's what launched me into a lot of JRPGs, a lot of anime stuff, like really that whole world that might seem like I'm overstating, but I don't know that it is, man. Like I started being very open to just watching anime from Persona 4. Yeah. So like very important game in my sort of journey here.
Lunar was that game for me, Sean. Where like I would never want to replay Lunar 1 again because again it would probably have the same kind of butterfly effect thing. Where that was the game that it made me realize what anime even was, because when I played it for the first time in 1993, obviously we didn't know what anime was, but then I was like, oh, this Sailor Moon show looks like the cutscenes in Lunar. Oh, this actually seems like it's really cool. And that was like my gateway into anime was Sailor Moon because of Lunar, essentially.
Speaking of anime, segue, Ryan, there was a Steam sale. I think it's still going on. And I didn't even know there was a game for this anime that I was recommended by Miles_of_Amanda. Steins Gate. I watched a little while ago, and it has a game on Steam. I don't even know what this game is, but I bought it.
It's a visual novel.
Oh, I can't wait. That's perfect.
Yeah, because Steins Gate, the anime, was actually based off the visual novel. So the game actually came first. It's just
that's so weird.
We just got it in North America much later, like after the anime came out, because it's part of this much bigger series that like the Anime Chaos Head is part of, and they all kind of like are like. They're kind of like Final Fantasy, where they're not really connected, but they're connected by like themes a lot of the time. But
interesting.
Anyways, Sean, I think that's going to wrap up today's episode of the RPG Cave. But before we wrap up the show, Sean, we got to say thank you to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, starting with Jonathan Brown, the man behind the music on the Xbox Drive. You can find all of his music over at his link tree, linktr.ee/pme.jb, or just search for PME or Purple Monkey Entertainment on your music player of choice. Shout out to JB, of course. And TechMike, who says, whether you're Kevesi or Agnian, you're a Xenobabe at heart. Links to all of our ultimate producers can always be found in the description of our podcast, so make sure to support them because they support us, and they're really awesome. Our platinum producers, Peje, Smokin' Joe, The Captain, and Tim Paullin, and our gold members, Adam K, Anna, Awesome Dave 1337, Benny, Brad Moore, Brian Reese, Cecily Carrozza, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Emilio Kelly, John 32, Laura, Ligerwoods 330, Mr. Giggles, OldMrFrump, and Stephen Keller. Huge thank you once again to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgame. If you want to hop in the car with us, head over there, choose the tier that's right for you. And Sean, thank you so much for joining me today. I really, really appreciate you being here while Garrett is on vacation. And I'm so glad we finally got a chance to do one of these shows together. I appreciate you, man.
I think I've finally been on all the carpool shows. I think this did it.
Yeah, I think we officially got there. In fact, out of all the carpool hosts, Sean, the only one I've never had on the show is Mitch. We've never had Mitch on the show.
I'd love to see that
here at some point. But Seth asked the question. So what's Sean playing? Final Fantasy 16? Is that what we settled on? Or
that's
Star
the one.
Ocean?
Yep,
Interesting.
that's the one.
Excellent. So,
yes.
Sean, where can people find you on the old internet if people only listen to this podcast and don't know you?
You can find me on Blue Sky at CPG Sean, and yeah, mostly in the Discord. Links are in the show notes, of course. And let me know what you guys think of the games I played, what I haven't played. Leave a comment down below on this video. I get to see all the notifications for all our YouTube comments, so leave them down below, man. That'd be nice. Yes,
nice, man. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's for me.
I'm very anxious now with all these games that I don't have time to play, but I had fun. Yeah.
I'm glad that I just gave you like 10 more games that you have to play, Sean, because it just adds to the pile of games.
I feel dizzy. I'm not going to lie.
It's too much. It's not fun. I only suggested like 200 hours of games to play. Sean. It's not that bad. That's only the first two expansions of Final Fantasy 14 right there. 200 hours.
Yeah.
But as for me, you can always find me in the Discord at Ryan Turford. You also find me on backlog.com at Ryan Turford, where I put the games that I've been playing, as well as on Letterboxd at Ryan Turford there as well. And I started to tip my toe back into that Blue Sky, Sean.
Oh, I saw that. I did see that.
I have one post on there talking about Shadow Labyrinth. I don't know, but I'll do that again. We'll see. But you can follow me on Blue Sky at Ryan Turford if you want to. So for Sean Capri, I'm Ryan Turford. This has been the 188th level of the RPG Cave, and we're out.
Bah.
Bye.